Hello student, welcome back to my new video. The last class we have discussed about the protozoans, and now in the fourth part of the video, we are discussing about the kingdom fungi. In fungi, its characters, it is heterotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, that is, it doesn't make their own food. It is saprophytic as well as parasitic. Saprophytic and parasitic. That absorb, saprophytic is that it absorbs organic matters from dead substances or rotten substances. Parasitic depends upon the living plants and animals. Depends upon living plants and animals. So fungi has the nutrition that is heterotrophic nutrition, that is, it is saprophytic as well as parasitic. This saprophytic means it absorbs organic food materials from dead substances, that is dead and decaying substances, that are saprophytic. Parasitic means it depends upon the living plants and animals. So this type of the nutrition that we find in the fungi, its a body shape is multicellular. Body organization is multicellular. Body organization is multicellular, and loose bodies means in pieces, loose body parts. It has loose body or loose, we can say loose tissues. So body organization is multicellular and has the loose tissues. The cell type is eukaryotic. Cell type is eukaryotic. Fungi has that is, it has the nuclear membrane. You can commonly find it in bread molds, rotten fruits, or in moist places. These are fungi you can find when you can see also in the pickles when it is kept, and so white types of things you find in the upper part of that are the fungi which you find in that. We in Hindi commonly says as phupundi. So that is the fungi. Common examples are common mushrooms, and toad toadstools. These are the common fungi, and also we can see it in spot like spot seen in on mustards, leaves are due to parasitic fungi. So spots seen on the mushrooms, white spots which we find it, white spots seen on the mustard leaves are due to the parasitic fungi present in. And the yeast used to make bread and beers, and that yeast is also fungi. Yeast used in bread and beer, which is used for fermentation. Yeast is used for mainly fermentation. It ferment to make the bread softer, and in the beer ferment it. So these are the common things which we generally see in day-to-day life. All the things which I am teaching you, you have to go through it. It is better option to learn. Don't mug it. Otherwise you won't be able to understand properly. So go through it properly and make sure that you understand it. Don't mug it. Some are used in making antibiotics. That is penicillin. Penicillium. Penicillium. That is antibiotic. It is also fungi used in making antibiotics. That is penicillium. And it also causes in wheat rust causes leucemia. In disease in wheat rust causing leucemia. So fungi is also used in making antibiotics, that is penicillium, and also it causes disease in the wheat rust that causes leucemia. Fungi are cosmopolitan and occurs in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. Fungi are cosmopolitan. Fungi are, it is cosmopolitan and occur in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. So we find that fungi, it is a cosmopolitan and occurs in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. Fungi are filamentous. Fungi, it is filamentous, except yeast, which is not filamentous. So fungi is filamentous, and it is long cylinder thread-like structure that is called hypa. It has long cylinder thread-like structure called called hypa. So fungi, we can say it is a cosmopolitan and occurs in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. It is filamentous except that is yeast. It has a long slender thread-like structure called hypa. So these are the common characters of the fungi. So, and now we can find the reproduction. So now the fungi reproduction. Reproduction is vegetative, asexual as well as sexual. So fungi, it has its reproduction. Its reproduction. Reproduction is vegetative, asexual, and sexual. So reproduction is all the three types. Vegetative, that is through fragmentation, that is fragmentation, fission, and budding. So reproduction is in fungi, it is vegetative, in which fragmentation, fission, and budding. Asexual by spores called conidia or sporangiospores or zoospores. While sexual reproduction by oospores, ascospores, and basidospores. So reproduction in fungi, we find it in vegetative as well as asexual and sexual. All the three types. In vegetation there is fragmentation, fission, and budding. That is the vegetative reproduction. Asexual by spores called conidia, sporangiospores or zoospores, and in sexual reproduction by oospore, ascospores, and basidospores. This is how the fungi can reproduce. This I am showing through a diagram which will make you understand it easier. That there is a spores, here there is germination, this mycelium, formation of one end, and then after that it is plasmogamy, then there is hetero, then there is karyogamy forms the zygote, and thus there is meiosis, haploid spores, form After that, spores. And this is mitosis. So in this we find that this is asexual. This is asexual reproduction. This is sexual. So in this we find that there is different stages in the reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Here we find that the germination, the spores germination starts mycelium one end, then through the process plasmogamy, it forms in the stage of heterokaryotic stage in which there is formation of the spores. The two come together, and there is the process of karyogamy in which two fuses to form a zygote. And zygote, in this again the meiosis take place, that is haploid one and spores form, and then again the spores form, and then the mitosis. This process goes on in the reproduction in the fungi, that is asexual reproduction and sexual. What happens in plasmogamy? In this haploid cells forms the two different mycelia which fuse to form heterokaryotic cells. In this two cells, two different mycelia, in this what happened? Two different mycelia fuse to form heterokaryotic cell, to form this heterokaryotic cells, and this goes to karyogamy. The nuclei fuses to form diploid zygote, that is 2n diploid zygote, and then again it comes to one end, that is meiosis, the spores formation, and then again the mycelium, again mitosis, spore. This cycle continues in asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. This is the reproduction chart in fungi. So next fungi is again divided into 4 parts. So you would have understand this one carefully. Now next we are going to read about the fungi which has 4 different parts. So fungi is in different part, 4 different parts, that is phycomycetes, ascomycetes, ascomycetes, basido, and deuteromycetes. So fungi has been divided in 4 parts: phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidomycetes, and deuteromycetes. So we will discuss separately all the 4. First, phycomycetes. Phycomycetes, it is present in decaying wood, in moist and damp places. So phycomycetes fungi, it is present in the decaying wood in moist and damp places. It is also called as lower fungi. Lower fungi. So we can say the fungi in which phycomycetes is present in decaying wood in moist and damp places. It is aseptate and conocytic hyper. What is conocytic and aseptate? That is, in conocytic hyper, it is the figure you can say in this way. This nuclei cell wall, conocytic. It is aseptate and conocytic. It is again divided in two groups. It is divisible into two groups, that is oomycetes and B zygomycota. Oomycetes and zygomycota. So this is phygomycetes. In phygomycetes, it is present in decaying wood in moist and damp places. It is aseptate and conocytic hyper. It is divisible into two groups, oomycetes and zygomycota. Further, for the asexual reproduction, and this zoospore that are motile or by a planospore that are non-motile. So in this, that the reproduction in asexual reproduction, there is zoospores that are motile or by a planospore that are non-motile. Spores are endogenously produced in the sporangium. Spores are endogenously produced in the sporangium. The spores are endogenously produced in the sporangium. And zygospore formed by fusion of two gametes. Zygospores formed in the fusion. We have told zygospores form fusion of two gametes, that is similar in morphology and dissimilar. Similar in morphology means isogamous, and dissimilar means anisogamous or oogamous. So the reproduction in the phygomycetes are asexual reproduction, that is zoospores which are motile or by Aplanospores that are non-motile. Spores are indigenously produced in the sporangium, and the zygosperm formed by the fusion of two gametes. Fusion of two gametes, that is sexual reproduction. Zygospores formed by fusion of two gametes, that is sexual reproduction. That is zygosperm formed by the fusion of two gametes, similar in morphology, that is isogamous, and second, dissimilar in morphology, that is oogamous or anisogamous. So in sexual type of reproduction, zygospores formed by the fusion of two gametes, that is similar in morphology, that isogamous, and dissimilar in morphology, that oogamous or anisogamous. And some examples are mucor, rhizopus, that is bread mold, and albugo, that is parasitic fungi present in mustard leaves. So this is about phygomycetes. So most probably you would have understand this up to this. If you have any type of problem in understanding, you may ask in my comment section. If there, I will try to make you understand all this. Thank you, student.